There we go. Pretty sure that's gonna work now. I don't know if you. I apologize if anyone saw that notification more than once. Whoa. I should have probably sneezed a lot less loud, but that's life. Oh, hey, Andrew P. Sorry, I'm still getting set up here. How's it going? Are you playing Slay the Spire? You should probably just go be playing that. That's what I've been doing most of the time. No, playing a marathon. Amazing. That's pretty cool. So you are enjoying extraction shooters, or are you just enjoying marathon? Because I really liked Arc Raiders. You'll buy it later. Yeah. Slay the Spire 2 is in early access. It's an earlier version than I thought they'd release. I think they want to get some data collection, or they didn't expect this early access to be like a true 1.0 because there's a lot of placeholder art. And yeah, you never played Arc Raiders. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I haven't played Marathon, but Arc is a very, very special game. Yeah. And I love the devs, that dev team, Embark Studios. But yeah, I think they're different. There's some things that Marathon does a little differently. And if you like an FPS kind of experience, it's more shooty, more PvP. Marathon's it. But Arc Raiders is like a little more PvE, and since it's third person, the effects of the FPS skill stuff, it's a little less. But yeah, Arc has some things and some emergent gameplay that you're like, wow, it's so cool. A lot of cool gadgets and stuff. There's some gadgets in Marathon. I've seen the drones and stuff. But yeah, I've been too busy to play like much of anything. It's a lot of work. Got a lot of work going on. Pretty sure no. I will. I don't know. I might end up passing on Marathon. Ooh, and Shrouded is on sale. That's cool. I've definitely wanted that one. It's a survivor game like Valheim. I've heard really good things. Is this 1.0 yet? Still early access for it. Hi. We're just getting set up here. I've got to restart the capture on my Godot game. Oh, that's the wrong element. Let's try this one. There we go. I don't really have an agenda today. Just kind of hanging out for a couple hours while I fiddle around with some different technologies. Okay, let's fix this. So I think we're not using this access as unique name. We could say, uh, I could do it like this. Right, I'm gonna add it. It's tough out there, man. I've got so much to do. I have like 3 full-time jobs right now. And then I have to do all my housework and chores, and thank God I don't have kids. So where's this placeholder text coming from? Because it says line edit session, and this says line edit session. This one. It's up here. I'm working on a game for a year now, and it's getting really complicated. Yeah. Yeah, I can relate. I've abandoned a game that got too complicated. It was too much scope for me. I just had too much in the game. It's hard to cut scope. You really want all these features, and then you get into that sort of situation where you have a year-long game that, I mean, you can just keep trudging at it. You could set some goals, say like, I am going to launch this for the next, the next fest on Steam, or I'm going to release it for this, or I'm going to get playtesters and set a goal, set a date, and work towards that and kind of relentlessly cut things. It can be like a 3-month goal and say like, okay, this is it. This is the beta, the 0.1. And I think that can help. 0.01 or the 0.1 release, early access sort of thing, and that might get you there. But yeah, I relate. It's tough. Game dev is so hard. But you can keep chipping away at it every day. You get up, you do a little bit if you can. Post show. So now what the fuck? How'd that happen? I didn't even change anything. Huh? I think there's something wrong. Because there's no label here. Yeah, something's terribly wrong with my code. Great start. Yeah, it's working vertical slice of the game. It's getting somewhere, but I'm still worried I'm making BS. Bullshit? I don't know. I noticed that the streaming dock is kind of small. Can I actually make this bigger? Because I was looking through a replay. This thing. Can I transform this? That's what it is. Okay. Send you a video? Yeah, I'll watch a video for you. If I just write in here, zoom to see CSS property zoom. Yeah. In YouTube, did you send it to? You can send it to the chat probably. I don't think I can get like YouTube DMs or something. I just don't know. DMs. Oh, transform scale. Okay, let's do zoom 200. Okay. You sent it. Did you receive it? You sent it to what location though? There, it's huge now. Is that too big? You guys like a bigger box there? It didn't. It must have eaten it in the chat. Let me just check though. Seemed like it did not send, even though I just don't see anything, and I don't have great ways to moderate. I wish I did. I'm still new to streaming in some ways, so it's weird. It must have decided to. You can try to jump over to the Twitch chat and send it there. Maybe they're more forgiving there. Some dual streaming. What do you think of the size of that box? It feels like it's a little big. Let's go 125. Let's just get a little bigger, not enormous. Stretch your screen, fit the screen. Fortunately, I don't have Twitch. Okay, there it is. All right, no.com will work. Let's try that. Just give me a second to keep fiddling around with my stuff. I apologize here. I am seeing it. Hold on. Hold up. We're fucking with this some more. Okay. Here we are. Okay, so I am going to take a look at your game with my screen open. See if there's any sound. Yeah, there should be some sound. My video. Whoa, look at this. This is cool. Doesn't seem like there's sound currently. That's all right. Thank you, Your Highness. This means everything. Lumberjack. All right, so we've got a little turn-based thing going on. Ton of skills to drag in. Oh, inventory here. Okay. It's a big deal. It's a lot of mechanics. It's all right. You know, sound pass makes it really come alive. It's a lot of work, though. Great shot. Boom. Love the zoom in. Interesting book. It is interesting, yeah. Okay, so that. Okay, arc shot. Cool, cool. Damn. Or a left leg. Looks like she fell asleep or something. Look at all these traits and skills. Reckless, loyal, explosive. Food appetite normal, requires 3 food a day. That's a ton of mechanics. It's a lot of work, but and the left leg is now injured in that view. Okay, very cool, very cool. Yeah, this is awesome. Okay, so it looks like we've got some dead people, production buildings, lumberjack, training buildings, utility buildings. We almost got this like turn-based RTS. It's crazy. Look at these worker AI tree, yeah, or it's a behavioral tree here, yeah. Enemy AI is one of the toughest things. Good way to see you. Yes, very well. I don't know if you really would like feedback, but font-wise, like this is a cool font, but people read better when it's not all in capital letters. So because typography-wise, love some feedback. Yeah, okay, so yeah. Basically, it's easier to read this word lumberjack when it's in capital L and then lowercase, because in capital letters, all of the letters are the same height. So every row is the same height. When there's some variation, the human brain can pick up the character a lot quicker. That's why we don't like write code in all caps. You know. So yeah, your menu here is much easier to read, much easier to parse than that text. And so this font, maybe you can use that dialogue font in that book there. Yeah, equipment's inventory, that's fine. So yeah, try to use all caps sparingly. Maybe for status healthy, that's fine, or some of these are fine, but like long blocks of text. So what is this book? So this book is crazy. We have a nested menu in here. So we've got equipment. That's fine. We turn the page, and we can see their status page. Love it. Looks great. Status, healthy. Equipments, and we tab over again. Now here, this is wild right here. Okay, so we have share items, rest, straight shot, and then while this looks cool, this is tough because this doesn't show us everything right away. What up, Lerger? It's skills, yeah, I understand. I think you can look at something like Baldur's Gate or something that does a better job of kind of like laying out skills. You could use a skill wheel. Skill wheels are very popular. But the book, since like it doesn't show me everything at once and I have to scroll down and it's just contained, it's kind of really tight in there, you know. You can even make the book full screen. I know all this is placeholder stuff, but like long term. And I like the depth that you've built here in terms of all of the skills and abilities and traits and all that. And this is a complicated game. You've got a good handle on it, though. It's just going to be hard. It's a hard game to make. If this is your first game, you might want to take some of these things out and make them into a slightly smaller, faster game. But if you have to have every one of those features, you know, it's going to take you another year, right? But it's looking great. This is very cool. The movement looks good. I like the preview on the actions. Yeah. And then my other tip generally is keep a clean console. This is way too much information. Get these debugger down to 0 if you can. Spend a day cleaning this up. It'll make it way easier to fix bugs if you're only fixing one bug at a time. So this is something called the broken window theory. It's basically don't leave broken windows, bad designs, wrong decisions unrepaired. Fix each one as soon as it's discovered. Perhaps you can comment out or display not instrument. Take some action to prevent further damage. This is because if you have a broken window, and you don't fix it, this is a sign that no one is taking care of the code, no one's taking care of the area. So people will, psychology will kick in and it's abandoned. So they will destroy things. But if you fix each issue as soon as it's discovered, it makes it easier to fix the next issue because you're not sure which thing in this list is the problem. Which debugger issue? What is, oh, is it this old bug that I haven't fixed in like 6 months? Or is it a new bug? And now you're chasing 3 to 4 different things at the same time. So if you could take a week to just clean this all up and get your debug system instead of printing all this in the console, you should probably have like a dev tool, like a overlay or something that shows this stuff that you need. I don't know. Maybe this is just how you work and all this print stuff is necessary, or maybe you should have a way to like toggle on or off like stuff about the entity or the housing system. You could do a checkbox, uncheck housing system. It won't print any housing system things. You'd have a logger utility. Select units for using sealed by first game without debug is too complicated. Yeah, just if it's too complicated, clean it up and then you'll be happier. Let's talk about WebRTC. Discovered now 50% of the PGP can fail on a relay server, even WebRTC. I'm so sorry to hear that. Even when they hide it under the hood and run with all the costs. Yeah. I discovered now. Yeah. Maybe we should address the connection failures with relay. I don't know if I'm going to do that today, but I should make a new video to address connection failures. So what I'm working on right now, and we were just doing a little code review. So I'm working on a system where you can connect with any peer, eNet Relay, WebRTC, WebSockets, Steam, or Epic, and you'll just be able to drop in here. Yeah, it's called my universal menu. But for your issue, it's tough to fix because you need an API key, and you need to implement a turn server. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be easier ones to use in here. So I'm seeing 112, 112, 21. Okay. That's strange. 3-1. How about 1-1? I see 3-1 and then 1-1. Okay. 1-1, that matches. Label, session ID, eNet local. So let's make this clearer. Let's go over to our network script and we're going to say eNet local. But we could, yeah. So that's all it does. That's our problem. Line edit session, line edit session dot text. We could say text changed. Emit. We need to emit text change dot emit, and we're gonna put in network dot address. I'm pretty sure it's there. IP address. Perfect. All right. So what that will do is now. From now, which is your favorite of these P2P? Still didn't work. It's hiding the label, the session ID. It's not populating that. My favorite is WebRTC because it works in, it's your only choice for itch.io games and for web games and for just working on every system. And we can add that turn server, that relay server. to handle cases like yours where you're seeing 50% fail. Hola. Saludes. I'm sorry, muy buenos. I definitely get your sentiment. You are saying the tutorial is good for multiplayer. And you're from Latin America. Welcome. I'm glad you enjoy the tutorials. We're going to keep making them. We're going to keep helping people make games in multiplayer. So I want to fill this box right here. Line edit session. It's this one right here with the word enet. And we want to say this text changed, and this should have matched here. I don't know why it wouldn't match. I'm seeing 1 and 1. Item index. Can we say type of? What is? Can we say type? How do we get a type? Godot type of. Type of. It is. Okay, so we can see the type. So I think that these are two different things. Because I could swear, but we can cast one to the other. And it won't be too hard. Let's just see what that says. This is 2 and 2. Huh. This printf says type of and type of variable returns the given variable type value. Type spits out weird that you have to look it up instead of saying what it is still. Yeah, that feels right. That weird int that you have to look up. So, oh, yeah, you're right. You still have to look it up with a returns 3. You have to look it up in global scope. Okay. Is it like there it is. It is a bool. That's not what we want. That's not true, though, is it? Is it 2? Yeah, it's printing int. Okay, it is printing int. So it is int. Because it's 2. You can interconnect clients with different P2P protocols, like matching a WebRTC. You may not. You may not do exactly what you just said. You have to have everybody on the same. So the idea is that you would essentially use this, and you could choose at the time of launching the game where you want to host your game. So you could choose to host it on eNet, or you could choose to host it on WebRTC. And as long as everyone chooses eNet, you know. Can I do, is it default here? What is the last thing in the match case? We have that open here. Right? I always forget how to use match. Oh, it's the underscore. It's a string. What's so strange? Not. It needs to be exported. Yeah, it's definitely a little different. Steam, we haven't done yet. We have not done it yet. But I'm trying to figure out why it doesn't write the word label session, edit session, text changed, emit. Do we have text changed, emit here, text change, line edit session, text change, update session, new text. What is line edit session? It's literally this. I don't know that these are working because it's not going to that line. It's not doing this at all. It is hi. That doesn't print. It does. Why does it print and not do what I want, which is line edit session, text change, emit this value? Strange. Line edit session. Text changed. Placeholder text. The fuck is going on? Because it doesn't set text with text changed emit, it just sets. Okay. Is it really this simple? It's the IP address. There we go. I don't need to emit because I think. There we go. That's what I wanted. Cool. All right, let's try connecting. WebRTC. WebRTC. Create session. Copy paste. Hell yeah. Third person comes in. You cannot select a different peer here. You must select WebRTC. But you can say and do and paste. Put some extra letters on there, but we're in business. Happy with that for now. I really don't want to do Steam ID. I don't want to fucking use Steam P2P. I'd prefer to do like literally anything else on the planet. So maybe a step-by-step tutorial about game security encryption. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not the expert there. I did show off 2 tools that we need. Godot Secure. Godot Secure. It's a Python script that modifies the encryption. So integrates better encryption, unique token system. This makes it harder because the Godot build, yeah, so the Godot build, we want to prevent universal decryption tools. So this is something, universal decryption tools are out there and they're prepared for Godot and they can just instantly get your stuff. But this will randomize 32-bit token. It's cryptographically distinct from others, so that's just going to be harder to find. Is it still findable? Absolutely. Is it going to be difficult? Hopefully. Is it perfect? No. It modifies the core Godot engine files. This is harder to use. I wouldn't look at it until you're ready to go. But and then the other one is the obfuscation Godot MAME, GD MAME. We have a question about, so you're doing collisions in multiplayer. Do you, 1, toggle monitoring, 2, check overlapping body specific frame, or 3, spawn a hitbox, even on melee attacks, and why? I do toggle monitoring. I think it's number 1. And I usually just trust that the client can tell me that they've hit something. Seems like a good tool, but I think the best way to protect and modify Godot in C++. Yeah, exactly. That's what that tool does, is modify the engine. It modifies the engine, I mean, every time you run it. It says it makes a custom engine. It says each compilation is distinct. Unique engine build. This creates a custom Godot build that's cryptographically unique to you. And I saw somewhere else it modifies the engine in the troubleshooting, right? See, important considerations. This creates a custom Godot engine. Right there. Standard templates won't work, so you'll have to maybe do a little bit of work, but I'm not going to fuck with it because I don't have a game. Do you toggle on all clients or just the authority? Usually just the authority, and sometimes that would be the server authority, but often just the player. And then I RPC to the player that got hit, that they've been hit. A lot of the times I'm working with projectiles, but I've had good luck with Shapecast 3D, because I've heard that Shapecast 3D is actually pretty efficient. So this is how I would do a melee weapon right here. And then you turn this on, just like that. Yeah, I mean, I haven't done melee much. I want to do more of it, but I have so much to do. I've been so swamped with a number of different things and helping people. And I'm in 2D. Oh, efficiency isn't going to be that big a deal as long as you don't basically pull it all the fucking times. You know, how do I get rid of this? Oh, right here. Ban. Like, you don't want to do a raycast every frame, like in process, you know, check is colliding. You want to have a timer. And then on that timer, raycast has like doesn't this have a function, raycast? I can open up the docs, open documentation. So nice to just jump to the documentation. Collide with bodies, methods. You don't want to do something like, even in a raycast 2D, you don't want to check is colliding all the time. So that's something I would debounce with like a short timer, like a 0.2 timer. Going back to old projects, shoehorn multiplayer. Yeah, you get better at shoehorning multiplayer into old projects depending on how big those old projects are. I've definitely been able to take a project and turn it into a multiplayer project, but that's just because I've done it like 3 or 4 different times. It just takes practice to know what you need to sync and what you need to RPC. And it sounds like you already know how authority works, and you're ahead of the game there. Multiplayer games should be made for the roots with multiplayer in mind. Yeah. I try to give people a good route in the tutorials. I think I mostly succeeded. There's a couple of things that I have seen that I would do differently, but that's a sign of improving, right? So I'm still improving myself. There are some goods and some bads about how I had people set up. Yeah. You heard about NetFox Godot add-on? Yes, of course. I'm in the Discord. I'm a contributor uh for NetFox. At least a little bit of code. And they have a set of tutorials, a set of tools that help you make fully server authoritative competitive type games with um, lag compensation, client side prediction, and server side. Really, this is a big deal. I don't have any games that really require this, so I used to use NetFox on some of my older games, and I found out it was just too complicated for me. And I'm gonna do some more teaching on some cases where you might want NetFox, and I think the biggest one is a fighting game, like a 1v1 fighting game, or if you've really got to make a competitive FPS shooter. Those are the two cases I can see. Or if you want to do something like Rocket League where you need synchronized physics, that's another one. And you can watch a thing. Actually, it is rocket science. It is rocket science. It's this YouTube by the rocket science guys. If you don't understand exactly how NetFox works, this is a good one to look. Yeah, deterministic rollback with netcode. Yeah, that's true. Well, you could do this because the fighting game. I don't know that determinism is necessary, but rollback is what you get here. Determinism in some engines is possible, but Godot makes no guarantees of determinism as an engine or as a physics. So, but you can definitely do physics based rollback with NetFox. There are people who are doing it, but it is an advanced, very advanced topic. Yeah, there's lots of different ways to do it, but I learned a lot from using NetFox, but I wouldn't pick NetFox unless you had like a complicated use case and are already very advanced. So it is possible to do. Okay. Enet. Should we make the create button like green? Set color over. Normal color. A fighting game template would be amazing from the NetFox devs. Yeah. Some level game dev on YouTube feels like 3-star chef. Game dev YouTube feels like 3-star chefs talking with farmers. I think people are closer to the same skill level as you than you think. So these are all icon color. I have to go into the panel. So where is that? Styles. So we have to go here. So copy this property path. Everyone comes from different, you know. Theme theme style box override flat what was it? Normal dot, and then we can create a var new style box flat dot. Can we say new style dot color? This has to be like this dot new color bg color equal. Why am I doing this in? Why are we doing this in code? I don't know. Because what is this? It's set theme style box override. Theme style box. I'm having so much fun. Add theme style box over normal. And then style box button host color. We'll say host style. That took way too long. Problem of non-deterministic fighting games is that making the server cost 200% higher than impossible to send the inputs in a frame. I don't know that I agree. But yeah. Yeah. That's a very technical insight, yeah. You are going to spend more on servers than if you just send the input in frame. But here's the thing. Your cost is not in bandwidth. So it's okay to just send more data. But your cost is CPU. Your cost is GPU. So saving bandwidth on a couple of frames and input versus you actually don't have to send the frame at all in NetFox land. You just send inputs. And you do client-side simulation. So weird about a fighting game is Fightcade is basically a wrapper on a main. That's interesting. Couldn't have that on Godot. Yeah, I'm not familiar, but I do know that I don't think you're gonna save a lot of money on deterministic engine versus a non-deterministic one like Godot. Because you're still just sending inputs, and then rolling back the same way. So, and your network costs are never going to be the bottleneck. Like, we're talking bits and bytes. You know, you'll probably save network costs, like ingress, egress, bandwidth, bit rate. So I wrote an article about that, and I could be wrong. So, but basically, bandwidth limits for multiplayer clients. With an input-only client, you're only getting 10 or 20 up or down. Like, that's nothing. Because if you look at a YouTube video, 300. Oh, my head is in the way of the stat. 300 for a 720 YouTube video. So anytime you make this type of game, if you're in this territory of a SD 360, you know, like you want to keep your bandwidth low, like 10, 20 for, you know, scaling. But if you're trying to scale, you've already got a hit game. And in that case, you're fine. And even in like all parts of the world, this is your median speed. This is how much budget you have. You will have to send more correction type sync packets since clients will be desynced each 30 frames. You are only sending... So the server will have to send more sync packets, is what you're saying? I don't know. if there is a correction, the server will. I mean, the server is going to be sending every frame process frame anyway, because it's server authoritative. You don't have direct control over your player body and the other player body, so it's just a matter of where that player is changes, not the actual number of packets you're syncing. And also, if there's no like difference between the client and the server, if they both agree, you're not even doing anything. You don't do any rollback. So there's a chance you could play an entire match without any rollback. But yeah, I don't. There's a lot to it, right? And there are deterministic engines out there, like Quantum for Unity. And this just sends inputs and has its own physics engine. This is like expressly for fighting games or fast-paced multiplayer games. So here's the simulation. We do the same thing with NetVox. You can get pretty far without doing this. You can get pretty far with NetVox. I think you could make a fighting game easier than you could make an FPS game. And it's going to feel responsive because of the client-side prediction. Deterministic is super complicated. That's why you don't do it. You don't worry about it. And you can't worry about it in Godot because the bits and determinism is not going to be cross-platform. So if you have players on Mac, Linux, Windows. Interesting discussion on this stream. I have a multiplayer project where environmentally dynamically change all the time by player actions. There's no two ways to separate. Yeah. If you have a slightly slower paced game, we're talking about the fastest pace you can go, which is fighting games that need precision, absolutely, reflex based fighting games. So if your game is slower paced, you can just chill a little bit less frantic pace. The inputs don't happen every frame, You're not going to be frame by frame by frame. Is button held A? Oh, I released the button a frame before you hit me. 100 millisecond ping time, even 160 across the Atlantic. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the more network tests you do, the more you're going to have that data and know how it feels. I've tested across the pond as well. So I've done a test with UK people in the chat, and I've tested to Australia. So what's interesting is I don't do server authority. I do client authority because I'm not doing a fighting game. I'm not doing anything competitive. I just have people. Peanut. Ooh, that looks good. I really like that. What color should the join button be? Blue. Good choice. It's the color of friendship. Awesome. I love it. Got a lot of nice blues. Maybe a light blue. Is the button dark color white? So we need a darker blue. I like all these. Try Navy. I have servers in different regions from Volter. But anyways, interesting stuff, yeah. Where'd the join one go? I must have not done this. Okay. It's this one. Button join. I don't really like how that looks so far. Could be red, but maybe there's a better color. Orange or something? I think we might not be able to use blue for this. Magenta? That's kind of cool. Let's try that out real quick. It's kind of nice. That's funny because of the theme, the overbought. Yeah. Okay. It's nice to do this in code because if you don't do it, because you can like remove the elements, I could reorganize these in a way and have them default cursor arrow shape button host. So if I delete all my buttons, I don't have to, which I might when I'm doing, you know. It didn't work. Wonder why. I wonder if something's wrong with my... Did I do cursor arrow? Oh, I want pointer. The pointing hand. That's why I didn't do anything. Yeah. Okay. Easy. We're gonna have to do Steam and Epic Games eventually. But today, I don't know. Definitely feeling a little scattered in terms of what I'm working on. It's just been so damn busy, but, you know, just a little every day. WebSockets, that's a cool one too. How's Slay the Spire 2 going? It's going so good. I've spent how many fucking hours? 21 hours in just a few days. Oh boy. Gotta play Arctic Eggs. That's another one made in Godot. That's really good. Godot wins! Woohoo! Yeah, the video has literally exploded. I did not expect that. That was kind of wild. I wish I had gone more in depth into the actual strategy that they took, but I wanted to keep it short and get it out there quickly. That's funny. I mean, you can make a hit game in full GD script. Just look at Domekeeper. It's fully Godot. So it's a game jam game made in GD script that they took and made a full release and mega hit. And then multiplayer was added later. And this guy gave a talk on it. It's not a great talk. I think it's a little weird, but it is interesting. And it was hard to do. So hundreds of thousands of lines of fucking Dome Keeper code, GD script. So I think we're going to see more and more Godot games, obviously, after this. I think it's a great choice for engine for smaller studios. And even AAA studios are using it. Valve uses Godot in some places. Dice, creators of Dice created, what was it called? Battlefield. Is that the right company for Battlefield? I don't know. I don't know about that. I think it was that. You know how many people make Sonic fan games every year? Yeah. So the Battlefield editor is in Godot. In their preview, their literal like people their custom map maker is in Godot. So they published this. It's in the trailer. Oh, I upvoted it. Yeah, so they're using Godot. I think AAA. Mirror's Edge, my beloved. Oh, did Dice make Mirror's Edge? That's incredible how well Mirror's Edge holds up with all the static light map baking. I love baking light maps. I'm so bad at it. It's great though. Looks so good. I did not know that Dice made Mirror's Edge. That tracks though. Developed by Dice and EA. Hell yeah. No offense, how the fuck are they making maps for Battlefield if Godot Editor is not that good? It is that good. That's why they chose it for their modding tools. They chose to make it. And then in the Steam Machine preview, if you watch the trailer, there it is, right there. You see that? Godot on the Steam Machine, baby. Right there. Valve, Dice. People still don't take it seriously though. I'm changing minds too. I'm gonna change people's minds. Yeah, you can make a console game. Yeah. You could there's a lot of games on Switch. Switch 2 is a common place to port your game for Godot. It just kind of fits in some ways. I think we're gonna stop walking here because I'm starting to sweat and I don't want to overdo it. It's life. Because I have a bad knee. I'll be right back. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not launching any nukes. I'm only launching the game. So, I don't know what. You never seen a Godot editor? It's interesting. Very fun. What if I do this? Which Godot is this? I wish I had the right settings here. I've never seen NPS Code, VS Code, and Windsurf. Looks very cool though. Yeah, we're doing game dev here. We're doing a little something different, right? Um, game dev is a really fun thing to do as a hobby. I'm trying to get my settings right though. Sorry about this, guys. Doesn't work. Oh well. Get rid of this debug peers. Godot engine is a incredibly useful tool to make games, and it's fun because it has a lot of advanced features. Like if I wanted to jump over to this global, I can hold command and jump directly there. And then if I want to find out about the ball, the rigid body, I can click on this type. So this is a type, rigid body 3D has autocomplete. It's a little thing, and I can click on that. And then I can read about the gravity, inertia right in the editor. And if I don't like reading in here, I can open the online docs and I can just get them on the website. So the docs are some of the best docs ever written. Some of the best software ever made is Godot engine. So there's a couple of things I've got to do. I think we should do the turn server. I think it's really important. Let's see if we can do it. So we'll get up VS Code here. What is this finished product branch that I'm on? Oh my god, that's not the right. That's not even it. We'll go here. We want CD, Andrew Dev, CD. Push that up real quick, just so a good save point. The way we do this is we search for Done. Turn. This looks about as simple as it gets now. We have a couple of choices. This should always be on the API because we can hide it there. Notice that this is the client side key ID, and then the API token is not shown. Because that's what you want to keep secret. And that's what all these stupid AI bots fuck up. This is it. This is the file, this whole thing. Part 3 is coming. Is part 3 coming? Oh my gosh, I wish it were. I have been so busy since part 2. I've had three full-time jobs. Like, I have my actual job, I have my YouTube job, and then I have another job. So I would love to build an incredible part 3, but it might just take a little while. I've been actually spending a lot of my time helping people. Yeah. Is Slay the Spire to my extra job? Based on my current playtime of 21 hours in the last 2 days, pretty close. But I think I'm gonna be working more. I mean, I have to work because I need income. Is it research? Yes, is it research? I would love to make a deck builder. Good point. I mean, obviously, Slay the Spire is inspiring. It's inspiring in many ways, has great mechanics. They're really good at balance. I'm excited to keep playing it, and I'll probably be playing it later. But right now, it is time to implement the turn server for people who have issues connecting. So if we go ahead and open up this one. We want to go to CD this one. Oh, I guess I could show you co-op script. Here is the co-op script. Part 3. We will be doing the following things. Projectiles, probably a bow and arrow, picking things up and throwing, making the targets move, and player animations and models using mesh to motion or the free pack there. So that is this is part 3. I love how this is in half, like left right. That's pretty nice. No bottomless well of endless friendship, though. I don't know where that comes from. You don't have to apologize for eating, silly. So you tell me what you want to see in part 3. I might have lost this person who was asking for part 3. They might have just said, oh, it's not coming. I give up. This guy sucks. It's coming. When using Tube, oh, so you jumped over to YouTube. when using Tube, the room systems are separate, right? If I forked your project, rooms won't conflict. That is correct. You may fork my project. And you can just use the finished one at the tutorial part 2. So in the YouTube, I'm gone here. Let's go to the completed project files here. Hi. And now you can just grab this entire branch. You can fork this. And here's the nice thing that you can do is we can click on Tube. There's Tube, here we go. And they suggest that you use these tracker URLs, right? Well, I made my own tracker. Make it more resilient. My tracker it's right there. I should go update that. So you could use this tracker as well. I'm going to put the right value here, and we're going to test that. But I have to close my screen because it involves a little bit of a secret. So Cloudflare has my URLs, and I need to hook that domain real quick. And if you missed it, this is the part. We're going to show the part 3 stuff. We're going to do this preview. It's no longer and do, unless I've gotten something wrong. I think with the R, Andrew is more easy to understand than and do. You guys can tell me what you think is funnier or more prepared or more like and do, Andrew. I put the R in there because some people said they didn't really understand how to say the other one. So Andrew, I don't know. It's a branding thing. You tell me. I've purchased both websites. Andrew Tate. Andrew. No, I don't want mustache. Yeah, that'd be funny. I'd put on a disguise. I don't know. Let us make a custom domain, and I say tracker. I'm gonna give you a better config here. And we're going to kill that one. Oh no, I shouldn't do that. Okay, don't worry. Let's try that one. We've got to make a number of changes here. Oh, you need the WW. All right, let's try that. WebRTC, create, no errors, join. Something went wrong. Oh, I put it in the username. Perfect. That's how good I am. Brand new tracker. Well, here's the thing. That didn't test the tracker. I remember that Tube will use your local, like your local host if it detects it. So I have to. Yes, thank you, very Ice Chill. We are making a universal peer tester where you could select eNet, eNet Relay, WebRTC, WebSockets, Steam, or Epic Game Store to connect to. So if you select eNet, it uses local host, and you can create a session. And that's the server. The server ID is always 1. And we have these little these things that you can kill. And now here's the other thing. We should have drop in, drop out. So I should be able to leave, select this again, and rejoin. And I forgot to update my username. So I'm going to leave, update my user, Andrew, join. So I have more trackers. It's just one tracker. It's just one tracker. But I need to make sure it works because I'm going to do this one. These are the trackers that I'm going to use. I use different ones in my video because the video is older. Any limitations are the number of people in a room? Can there limit on how many rooms there can be? It's an infinite number of rooms. So the trackers that Tube uses are these WebTorrent ones, and these are announcers. Basically, oh, I didn't show my screen. Let me 3, 2, 1. Boop. Okay, so tracker URLs will announce. You see how it says announce? I could call it announce.andrew. Can I connect from Epic and Steam? You can use Godot Steam. You have to implement them. You can't just like connect instantly. I'm working on it, but you need to go over to Codeberg and use that. It's hard to do. I think it's not too hard, but I'm going to learn how to do it and tell you how to do it. The trackers that they use are these BitTorrent type trackers, and they can be a little unreliable because they're handling a lot of traffic and they're just kind of like listing where torrents are located. So I've added my own tracker, and I'm going to advise people to use it because it should be more reliable, and you can add more. Don't worry, I'm not putting my game on Steam yet. Yeah, I will. Yeah, it's going to be a while before I do a Steam game as well. I'm going to give everybody a free turn server. And that's what we're going to do right now for Relay. But I need to put it on my game PlayStation Store. Yeah. Yeah. It depends on your region, yes. All right, let's see if we can get this going. Okay. So this is we have this up. I think we're already in our code editor. The Wrangler here. Worker config? No. Wrangler. Now the question is, did this give a pull request to me? We haven't updated it. Or did we? Bindings, smart placement. Does this have domains? Wait, it depends on region? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what region. I'm in the US, so everything kind of works in the US. It says Juby Games here. I think that's wrong. I think we should configure this differently. I think it's not in Juby. Juby Games is my LLC. A couple of private repositories that just aren't clean enough to share. This is taking forever. See ya. Have a good day. It says GB Games here. The fuck? Just want to say thank you for teaching us about multiplayer Godot. I'll support what I can. Yeah, no need to support. I'm fine. I just I have a job, so I'm good to go. I just have to. I have a lot of work to do. All right. Here's what we do. We look at our log, git log, and it says replace chore, remove BT tracker. Let's see the commits. I don't think. Oh, I think we merged this implement tracker logic. What does this say? Initial commit, update chore. Clarification local setup. What is this thing? Yeah, this makes sense. What does this look like? This is not the right version. We do not have the right version uploaded. I'm surprised it's working. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do it like this. Add turn server and refactor to use lib. Perfect. So what we're doing today is we're making things more resilient and better for people with weird connections. So not only could they select eNet, they could select eNet relay, and then they're going to be able to have WebRTC. And the WebRTC we're going to improve with a turn server from Cloudflare. And turn is part of WebRTC that is going to handle fallback to relay if you are on a restrictive network such as college or universities, or if you're in a if you have some special configuration on your firewall, and turn will help with that scenarios. But normally I haven't found it necessary for like 99% of my testing, but we're going to add it. And the reason we're going to add it is that we want everybody to be able to connect. And the way we add it is by updating our GitHub. And we have a little bit of things to do. So when we do git remote v, we can see we are not on the public version of this. So we have published over here to the wrong repository. So we've got this 1 minute ago. That's good. We're going to take our other one here, and we're going to add, we're going to say git remote d. Can I git remote d origin? Git remote. Can I prune? What does prune do? Remove. Git remote remove. Git remote remove origin. It's done. Git remote. Git remote v. Nothing. Git remote add origin space hello. Git push. Perfect. I think this is fine. We're gonna do a force push because we can see this was last week. Create initial WebSocket for BT. All right. Is there a chore here for updating README? I don't really see it. Might be this. It might be right here. There's no other branches. Why Andrew? Andy or Android? Hey, yeah. So my real name here is Andrew Davis, and I go by Andrew Dev because my old name was just my full name, and that was like hard to say. John Andrew Davis. It didn't sound very trendy. So I did do and do for a while. And Andu is just like a cuter version, or Andu Dev. And I don't know which one is better, and I'm pretty sure I'm just going to stick with what I've got because now that people are finding me more, I think I just try not to change it again. But you tell me. I don't know how to brand. It's hard to make someone as boring as I am branding. Godot's multiplayer party is easy to use. Playing with people outside your local network complicated. Yeah. Tube makes it easy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Super. Hit the jackpot with a slate. I mean, I think if you're interested in learning more about the Slay the Spire decompiled, there is a longer stream that I did. You can find that on my channel. They also did an AMA. Let's go to Reddit, and then I will open up my saved files because I found that there's a lot of information they shared. My internet definitely a little different today. So I think this is their problem. There we go. Saved. You're kidding. Okay. Let's go to YouTube because on my video, if you look, there is an AMA linked from my video. So here is the decompiled stream. So we stream and we go over some more of the project structure. We have some good questions. Yeah.
To find and decompile,
but
so
in the actual video, here is the Reddit link. We're the Megacrit developers. Here's Andrew Card, or Jake Card, said my own name. Jake Card answers some questions about the non-logic handling, is for Godot. But they did logic. Their content logic was nicely separated from the rendering and output logic. So that means they could do a lot of the processing in their C# code that already existed. So switching to Godot was easy. What I'm saying is I wish I had covered more of this information in the quick video because that would have been helpful. I'm not going to make a follow-up because I think there are other people who can read the C# code better. And so I would look out for other creators who are going to do a more in-depth video. I just wanted to get one out there and just kind of celebrate, and because I was so excited too. I was just like really pumped because I've been playing the game for like 12 hours already. I've got 12 hours in 2 days. But what I'm saying is like there's some links here in the Godot source here in this Reddit, and then you could always go ahead and decompile it yourself and have fun with that. But we are doing this turn helper here. This is pretty easy. Which operating system does your turn server use? It looks like it's going to be on TypeScript. And then we are going to be doing turn service through Cloudflare. And that's going to do a real-time managed relay. All I have to do, yeah, this guy knows, turn, stun, ice, relay. I'll tell you what, I had to learn all those things and what they meant when I first started. The WebRTC protocol is a complicated protocol, and luckily there are tools like Tube and Cloudflare to make it easier for us. And I have here what we were just setting up is a tracker server where we are going to say tracker.andrewdev. Okay. I think we'll do HTTPS here. And we're going to serve up a simple, see how it says upgraded socket. This is a WebSocket server. And that's going to be the HTTP one. And we'll put the WSS one. WSS is WebSockets. See how that works? So we have this one here, and I wonder if we need to look at our tube context. Has no slash at the end. I think we need to remove the trailing slash. It's fine. It puts it on there. Did that really do that to me? Oh, I edited the wrong one. Let's do that and that. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I like how that looks. We're detail oriented here. So now, soon, when you select WebRTC or you use one of my tube videos, we'll be able to send the client, when they connect, a set of ICE servers to use for turn. And we're going to populate it right here. Copy property path. Network. It's just turn servers. Perfect. Okay. That's fabulous. Git push F. So we use this one. That's good. Feet. Add new relay. You can't see me type. Oh, yes, you can, just barely. That doesn't matter. Push that one up. And then we're going to go back to main. We're going to close our Godot. And we're going to go back to main. And we're going to pull this down. And we're just starting from a fresh end of the co-op tutorial. And a fresh end is important because when we implement this, we want to make sure that people are able to do it. So let's say add turn server, add add tracker and turn. I like that. Okay. So now when I'm in here, the first change, obviously delete these old trackers because I don't know, BitTorrent shouldn't make me feel weird that it's using BitTorrent. It's a gossip protocol in a way. It tells everybody where everything is, which is exactly what you need for WebRTC. But I think it makes it a little less, I'm not going to say dependable, but some of these trackers aren't always there either, right? So we need to get rid of this one. Delete it. And we'll go to the other one. I don't know about that. Thank you, though. Honestly, I just love doing this stuff, so people enjoy it. They enjoy it. If I help you, I feel like I've had so much fun. These are ephemeral codes. You can't really use that. We're not leaking anything. Why does WebRTC ICE sometimes fail to establish a direct connection even after stun candidate gather? Forcing traffic to return relay. Have you found that to be true with anything that we have done on our tutorial, or is this your own signaling server, or have you rolled it your own? It's hard to answer that. If you can't do relay, I mean, we're setting up a turn server right here, and we usually don't need it. It could be that your network is so restrictive that not even not even turn can help you. But what you can do is you can just head over to the itch and you can just try this link real quick in 2 different browsers. And if it works, you'll be like, oh, well, why does his work? If you're using a college network, why didn't you say so? Yeah, so turn is your only hope. And if that doesn't work, yeah, that is what you call a restrictive network. Yeah, you're fucked. Simple as that. Go to the coffee shop down the road. What you can do is though you can have other people test for you, right? What is this code? This is the worst code I've ever seen. Yeah, I can't help you, sir. You have the definition of a locked down network. It works for everybody else. Sorry. It's like you in like hospitals and stuff. Yeah. You can join the Discord and share whatever you'd like. Yeah, go for it. So I might be rebranding that Discord. But people have gotten some help there and sharing stuff. I might rebrand it to like a multiplayer, but right now I built it so that I could find people in geographic proximity, but it doesn't seem to be that many. But you know, I might keep, you know, we'll see. We'll be flexible. But yes, the Discord is for anything, anyone. You know, it's just kind of hard to join it. It's not really not a lot of traffic. But yeah, I bet your shit might work anywhere else besides a college network. It's just that's a tough pill. All right, so we've added the tracker and turn. Perfect. We have a lot of work to do in terms of is it ever too late to make a project multiplayer? If you are experienced with multiplayer, it's never too late. So if you are a beginner, you will probably want to start from scratch in a sample project like the one I built on my YouTube. And build up your skills before you try to convert your other project. I have converted single player projects to multiplayer. It's not too hard, but it does require a little expertise and a little fine tuning. But it is possible. In fact, there is a talk here. I was talking about it earlier. It's Domekeeper. Domekeeper actually, the link doesn't work. I fucked up the link. I will get a link to the Discord. Let's see here. There you go. And I can also provide some support there. That's what I've been doing. I've actually been doing a lot of support. I'll fix the link later. But yeah, so this guy, he converted 100,000 lines of demo code. I tell you, it's not an easy one to do, but it did actually work. So be careful. Yeah, I'd recommend learning a little more before you try to convert and take a clean project, right? Make a new, just up your project, new project, and then get the fundamentals right. Get your players signals, your spawner, synchronizing, just the basics. Like then you can layer on your one important mechanic from your game at a time. So let's do tracker.andrewdev.com. Oh my gosh, it works. Made a very minimal rework of my project, not with actual jump off point. I mean, definitely the one we're using, Tube, right? Like, so we're using one that gets your multiplayer going quickly. If you haven't taken the course on this, the tutorial, go through the whole tutorial. And if you're too fast, you can watch it on 2x speed and you don't have to do all the stuff that I do, but pay attention to where we carefully set up the player, set up the signals. And what you want to have is a situation where you have a solid client where they can drop out, come back in with a different name, and they don't have any errors thrown. Notice that my console throughout this is completely clean. Whenever I see a issue, I immediately fix it so that I'm not confused. I keep a clean console here. In fact, there's a way to take this project settings. You can actually in here, you can say remove engine, print, Godot, debug. What is the thing? Remove these lines. I think you can. There's a flag. There's a way. It's like dot dot dot. I'm unfamiliar with the clean constant. You know, I was too at one point in my life, but I find it really does keep a simple makes your life a lot easier because you're not fighting 2 bugs or 3 bugs at a time. You're fighting one at a time. So whenever something new pops up, fix it immediately because you don't know if it's like a problem from 4 or 5 bugs ago and you've got all these bugs building up. It's called the broken windows theory. If you see something, fix it. Fix each one as soon as it's discovered. Neglect accelerates the rot faster, just like broken window on a building. This has helped me in my career and definitely helped me figure out game dev. And that's why when we build our tutorial system, you know, even my main projects, all of my main projects, my main game dev projects have no bugs. Not no bugs, sorry. They have no errors immediately. They have plenty of bugs that I have to fix and issues here and there. But it's just so much easier to fix one than 10 at the same time. So we have an issue here where we need to immediately connect to the WebSocket server. But we want to connect to a different part of the WebSocket server. Interesting. I'm going to push this up. I'm going to export a new version of the web runnable project. I need my dist folder. And I do not need debug. Export. That's fine. Perfect. Now we can jump over here. CD. We can say butler push dist Andrew dev. That's not where it is. That's actually where it is. Andrew dev friends co-op sample. I'm pushing this to butler. Didn't work. So I didn't make a folder called web inside that folder. That's fine. Dist. Hello. Delete. back here. And now when we export the project, new folder, web, this is how we had it for multiple reasons. Now when I push, we should see this. Perfect. That's about as simple as it gets. We're going to make sure that this tracker works at a baseline, and if it does not, we will fix it. I don't know why, but when doing multiplayer in Godot, one of the biggest temptations I have is leave those multiplayer errors unresolved. I don't leave any errors unresolved. Collision shapes, navigation mesh, they've all fucked me over. Nice. Two. Not the right. I've got to do this differently. PZBTS. Simple as. All right, that's up. Multiplayer errors are especially insinuous and very can fuck your project because they can be across different clients and servers, and it's very easy to lose track, especially when you don't know exactly who has the authority. And multiplayer multiplies your issues. It can be an exponential type of thing. That's also why I suggest that a lot of people build with a dedicated server first, because if I go to I have kind of these tips here. Don't mix your client and server too early, you know. I'll be right back, Ravi. Oh, ready, ready, ready. So we need to make a. There's two choices here. The best thing we could do is fork tube. Totally reasonable thing to do. Because we found that UPnP is really error prone, so we end up turning that off. I think that's what we're going to do. Our other choice is to see if we can hook into the WebSockets peer. So a game like Terraria, where the single player world and multiplayer world can be interchangeable, is that working a game always on a dedicated server? So in Godot, you basically have the choice where you can load up a world, and whoever has the world is the host, and that host is the server. And the world is just a big data storage file, right? If you want to play single player, we have in Godot offline multiplayer peer. And I have used offline multiplayer peer to take a multiplayer game and just, you literally drop one line in and it becomes single player. So you would just do that here. You'd say var new offline, and you go offline multiplayer peer dot new, and then you say if is single, if true, multiplayer dot peer multiplayer peer equal new offline. Or I guess this is kind of silly, we don't even need this because we're not going to do anything with it. We're just going to set it like that, and now all of your offline things work just single player. I personally build for multi, and then I add in single player. But something like Terraria has extra challenges in terms of the tile map and the world and procedural generation, and so it's valid to go to single player and get it all working there. And then when you want to add multiplayer, just keep in mind what you want to synchronize, because there's a lot to synchronize, but the simpler your game is, the better. And this is the stuff that this project synchronizes: just position, head rotation, nameplate. And you can see that that's about as simple as it gets. This is the head rotation. And what if you try to join my room from a completely different project? Well, one of the steps within our tutorial series is to go to the tube context. And at the very beginning, we actually generate this app ID in the top right. See how this says HUU9? So if we had the same app ID, then my lobby gets listed with a slash lobby code like that. So we cannot join the same lobby from two different projects. Now, if we did something stupid where Andrew just published it with this, and then you made another game called Andrew, and they both tried to join the same app, that there were a different node tree, because my node tree is just going to be, very simple. There would just be a fuck ton of errors. And my game might be okay with you joining. It might even create you as a player. But we wouldn't be able to synchronize because you're not going to have the
the same RPCs, the same node tree. Godot depends on this tree being the same across the world. So this forest world gets created for everybody. So obviously we'd like to avoid that. Is your project using solely the Godot multiplayer API? Yes. Obviously, there's a lot more in multiplayer API, than just what's in Godot. But I use RPCs and the synchronizer, and the high level. I've read these high level multiplayer docs. I had to read this document like 3 times, but once I did, on my 3rd time, I really started to understand how this all came together. And when your project fork, does the apps ID change? It does not. So if you're making a different project, I recommend you change that. Otherwise, we're sharing an app ID, and that's not great. And there's not really a good way around that, but I'm glad you asked, right? So I might need to mention that in part 3, so I will go ahead and do that. Mention app ID for making your own game. Yeah, so you have to change the app ID for each project, yes. If you make separate versions of the same game, do I have to change it as well? No. So think about it like what's in your project. If you're making a brand new project with brand new assets, brand new people, whatever, yeah, definitely a new app ID. But if you're making the same project on different platforms like I've got here with Windows, Mac, and web, you do not need to change it. You should not change that. Because I've run this from my Mac and connected to my browser. I do that in the video, actually. Thanks for making the tutorial and entertaining my questions. That's what I'm here for. Any questions, any takers, come by anytime. And this stuff is not easy. And it's taken me 2 years to get where I am. Hopefully your path will be slightly faster. But it's still long. It's still a long path because these are not easy. Game dev is not easy, but it is fun. It is fun. One thing I'm going to do is take these numbers and letters out of here. So let's take the lowercase letters out. And then if we could, it would be great if we had a 1K. I think that's fine if we just do that like that, because now we don't have all those lower cases in there. And we could take 0. Let's take 0 and O out of there as well. So now we can't get those two confused. It's taken me 5 and I've never touched multiplayer. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's a good time. It's just a journey. It's a marathon, not a sprint, right? So, I mean, I have not published any games. I have canceled my game. And then I found that I have more fun doing this sort of stuff, these experiments and these tutorials, than I do working on my game over the winter. I worked on it in December and January. And I felt like it wasn't really clicking. So I was making a friend slap game. And as much as I'd like to make one of those, this didn't feel right. So canceled it, and now I'm going to split it up and give it back to everybody else. And I'm going to show that project real quick. It's kind of cool. It's getting close to dinner time here. This will be, I think, the last thing we do today is we'll show off this project. So I have a special lobby system. It's a little older, but it still works, where you can put in a username, Andrew. I've spelled my name wrong. That's fine. And connect, create a lobby. Yeah. And then I'm going to go over here and we'll put in, can you use Godot with Vulkan? I don't know. I'm not all that good with the render engine side of things, but I think Vulkan is like pretty open source type stuff, so I think Mac will do it. I don't know, but Mac is weird because Mac has Metal, which is like a weird layer that does, because Mac has ARM, the M1 chips, So I'm on an M4 MacBook, and it is in ARM processing, so it might be a little different. So you can see all the information we had to change here. This is the WebRTC internals. So you can see the ICE action offer payload. These are the lobby packets that we exchange. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candidates. We've agreed to connect. We have agreed to that. All of these players are ready to connect. And so then they go in here, and let's move this guy around. He's got this, and he can grab it. And then another thing is I can ragdoll somebody, and I can go and pick them up, give them a dunk into the cart. Oh, he didn't make it in the cart, but I'll jump him in there. And then I can pull our friend around in the cart. It's going to jitter a little bit because we haven't gotten the jitter fix on this branch, but we've got rocks, and I can go over here and get a crystal. So these are all the things I'm going to split up and like give back to people once, you know, once they're all cleaned up. They're not really ready for public consumption yet because it's just a mess. Get in there. Okay, we got one. Get some rocks. You can make molten. Interesting. Do you think you'll come back to making games in the future, or are you more like a tools person? I think with the right team, I would come back to making games because I think I have a lot of fun making games. Perfect. Yeah. That's so. See, this is the error I've been fighting for a while. Is this this crystal? But I know what the issue is. I just haven't had time to fix it. All right, so we got about 5 more minutes here, and then we will be offline for the, because we got to go play the, we got to eat dinner, and then we got to go play Slay the Spire. That's the truth. Okay, we have a good start on this task here, and we've made some improvements. But I think what we'll end up doing, and you know, this is not useful to anyone, but I'll have to fork tube to, there's a WebSocket. Where's the sockets? It'll just be easier to fork because we already modify it, and the author is pretty unresponsive so far. I've reached out a few times, but maybe, you know, maybe they'll come back. WebRTC peer connection there. That's good. That's cool. That's the tube here. This is nice. They've done a good job here. I really like tube. I think it's great. It has a great interface. But this tube UPnP class, like we would fork and just remove UPnP because 1, it doesn't work on web, and 2, we had to turn it off so that leaving and rejoining would work. Maybe it could just be a Mac thing or something. Maybe it works on Windows, but we're going to get rid of that. And here's the tracker. Here we found it. Here's the socket, the tracker peer. This is called the tube tracker. Let's see if we have access to that on network. So if I go into here and I say tube client.tracker, we have multiple trackers. So on tracker connected, this could give us the tracker. Okay, so func tracker. That's awesome. Let's say git turn server. This is the exact strategy I would take, and I will offline. Func tracker is going to be a tracker, tube tracker, and then we're going to print. What can we do with the tube tracker? We can say tracker.socket.poll. There we are. I'll just start polling. So what that will do is listen for my TypeScript code. And we looked at this earlier, but it's been a while. we say generate, give me some turn shit, and then we're gonna dump that straight into, we'll get this response back from the WebSocket. Now that we have my tracker and not somebody else's, not some rando on the internet. And then we will fill it into this turn server right here. So we say tube client dot trackers. No. Turn server. Turn. No, I need the context. Context. Tube. I need to do this soon. Ooh, this is a little bit of a catch-22 because we'll need to reset the context. Is that going to be all right? I think that might be fine. But we take the context in here. We might have to find a manual way. We'll skip the tube context and we'll find where they're used. Turn. Not turn. It's really turn servers. Turn underscore servers. There they are. Here we are. Okay. So there we are. We just need to get ICE servers. Turn servers. We need to find where this is set. This is set on tube context. Little catch-22 here. Because we don't have the turn server until... So we'll have to override the ICE servers instead. I think that's all right. ICE servers empty. So we return, okay. Get ICE servers. When do we get ICE servers? Context, get ICE servers. Here we are. Initiate here. Here we go. Context, get ICE servers. Here we are. We found it. Print. Debug. Print S, I like with the space. Debug, turn servers set. Here. So get turn server. So let's just print here as well. Print tracker. And again, debug tracker, comma. And it wants a callable, so we need to say .connect here, okay? We need to say .connect, of course. .connect, because that should be a signal. Is that not a signal? It's not, it's a function. Okay. Tracker connected, there we go. Initiate tracker connected. Connected. Oh, tube tracker.tracker. Tube tracker. Okay. I think there's a appropriate client signal here. So there's such good documentation in here. They've done like a nice job here. Session initiated, local signaling peer tracker initiated. That's what we want. So back to the network. Tube client. Tracker initiated .connect, and this should say my turn server. Can I turn a server host on something like Raspberry Pi 5? I don't know. We are using a much more powerful service. We are using Cloudflare for our free real-time managed turn. So that is what we are doing. So I think that's a bit more beefy than a Raspberry Pi 5. But your mileage may vary. There is something called CoTurn. And CoTurn is a turn server project. And I have to go in 2 minutes or less. Last questions here. And let's see what this prints. Debug tracker. Excellent. That's my tracker right there, baby. Good boy. And this tracker, we did a debug here, right? this didn't happen. Initiate peer. But why? Is that only on join, maybe? Yeah. Turn server set here. I saw it on the second one, but was it on the first one? It should be on the first one too. Does he not care about ice as a server? Holy shit. He doesn't. Until someone joins. Okay. We did see 2 and 2, so that is exactly what we expected. There are no problems yet. We will get there. Good night, folks. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.